What you're seeing is rare footage of a real-life warning shot, a tense confrontation at sea, not between the U.S. and an enemy, but between two of America's biggest adversaries. The footage is from a Russian security vessel, approaching what the Russians say is one of 13 North Korean fishing boats they stopped. Russia's security service, the FSB, says the North Koreans were caught poaching in Russia's fishing zone off its east coast. Tonight, Vladimir Putin's government is holding the fishermen, accusing them of attacking and wounding 4 Russians.
I think what makes this potentially unprecedented is there haven't been many reports of North Koreans wounding Russian Coast Guardsmen.
The Russians say they've taken more than 160 North Korean crew members into custody. Analysts say the confrontation has likely angered Vladimir Putin, who just a few months ago hosted Kim Jong-un at a summit in Vladivostok. The two Cold War allies pledging their affection for one another.
I came to Russia with the warm feelings of our people.
There was even talk between the two leaders of Putin becoming an intermediary between Kim and President Trump. But tonight, experts say the incident at sea could be a big setback for the young dictator in Pyongyang.
Losing Putin would force North Korea really to rely only on China. And that's a situation that, at the end of the day, makes North Korea really even more isolated.
The confrontation with the Russians also reveals the desperate plight of North Korean fishermen. UN sanctions over Kim's nuclear program prohibit the regime from selling seafood to other countries. So experts say Kim's government pressures fishermen to sell their catch on the black market.
They're having to rendezvous with foreign vessels in international waters and essentially sell their catches on the high seas so it can be relabeled as Japanese or Chinese or Singaporean fish.
That means going further and further out to sea in rickety, poorly equipped boats. In recent years, some fishing boats, so-called ghost ships suspected to be North Korean vessels, have washed up on Japanese shores with only human skeletons on board. North Korean fishermen are more than willing to risk starvation and death, analysts say, because of the almost unattainable quotas they're given by Kim's regime. How much pressure would these fishermen have been under to produce more and more and more?
Oh, the pressure is incredible in terms of that. They're sent out if they don't catch what they're supposed to, if they're behind, if they lose control of the boat, they will be punished.
Analysts say North Korean fishermen grow more desperate by the day, and we can expect more confrontations like this on the high seas. They say that might especially occur next year at some point during the competitive crab fishing season. The North Koreans are not allowed to reap that harvest because of sanctions. Wolf, they're going to be more desperate.
Because you've looked at circuit boards or you've seen these missiles before?
We look to everything.
Yeah.
So the expertise in the Ministry of Defense, they look to everything, and it's not just the boards, but there are many things that we can work it out with the panel of experts, and we can prove it for the international community that those component is Iranian component, or it's being used by the Iranian, or it's being given to their proxies in the region.
How confident are you that you're going to find the point of origin where they were fired from?
Because we do have the indication, and from the indication that we have given today, comparing the range for the assets, talking about the UEV or talking about the cruise missile, we know exactly how far it can go.
And there's things like the motor on it here that is one of the things that tells you how far it can go.
Well, there are other capability in the system or in the assets. You put it together and you know exactly, and some of the information is not releasable to talk about the operational capability.
But you're confident you'll find where they're fired from?
You cannot accuse, let's say, under the international law, a country without having the evidence. We have given a lot of evidence to the panel of experts. We have given the evidence to the international community showing the involvement of the Iranian regime. The indication, one of the things, we have shown it in the brief, the direction of the attack.
From the north? From
the north, and how precision is the attack, which is showing advanced capability in the cruise missile. And there is no way it's coming from the south. It's not just assumption, but we are talking about facts and figures. That we do have it and we can't release it right now, and we are working on it.
If it's the north, then that is either Iraq or Iran as a launch site.
Well, it's not about saying Iraq or Iran this time, but we have the evidence it's coming from the north. If we are talking about the cruise missile over
Yeah.
there, which is 3 cruise missiles had landed short from Ibghaig, that's proof it's not coming from the Yemen.
What's going to be the response to Iran?
The response, are you talking about the international community response? Because we said this attack is not just against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it's not against Saudi Aramco, it's against the international trade and against the security of the global energy.
And do you feel
So
the international community, does the international community believe that finally
I think
now?
we have a common understanding, and we are working with our allies to stop Iran from their hostile act in the region and in the world.